Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk, where that'll never not be funny to me, Raz. Thank you so much. I had a game 2 of the day between 100 Thieves and Immortals Progressive. Immortals hunting for that first win. 100 Thieves looking to stay atop the table, undefeated, looking at 3-0 possibly. But that's where we have to start. The fact that 100 Thieves had that 2-0 week yesterday, following a disappointing performance in lock-in, I think for so many people, immediately reversed their you know, their whole, oh, the sky is falling.
You're overreacting. The sky is falling.
Right?
The first week, like, I'm sure the first week from practice after the lock-in, it was just a slap in the face. Just
they were angry,
they
practicing
were
angry, I bet. Yeah,
feel
without
bad
a doubt.
for whoever they're scrimming against, or their opponents that they have now 2-0'd. So, like, they've done incredibly well. FBI is at the helm with his Aphelios and Jhin gameplay, being able to be the player of the week. Such dominance there that you would expect from huhi and FBI that they're able to show.
Yeah, and I was glad to see FBI come back just because a lot of people, again, during lock-in were like, I don't know, they were playing these pushing bot lanes we thought were going to work really well for them. And going back to this kind of signature front-to-back team fighting style works so well with huhi on engaged supports and then FBI just being able to fire from the back line.
I think Abbedagge as well, stepping up a little bit was a big deal because he was one of the other factors in that, you know, quote unquote collapse from lock-in tournament, just not being able to have an influence on the games.
And so while they've impressed us coming out of week 1, you flip to the other side of things, and right now, Immortals, they just feel largely directionless, right? Not only is it an 0-2, you're just kind of left wondering, even how does this team view what success looks like for them?
As the IMT hater, Mark, I wonder what your opinion.
What do you mean? I think that all they need is someone to step up and find a big play, be a little bit of a hero, hopefully in the early game that you can then play around that power point.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, a lot of these plays are just not being on the same wavelength. There are moments like this where Akali's trying to come for a long flank, but, you know, IMT is already committed to an engage. Or this game where your AD carry is a little bit far in Ecuador as your team is taking the team fight topside. And so I do think that there are moments where the early game is fine, but it is just simple points of either miscommunication or just general poor planning that gets them in these holes.
Well, Immortals is hoping for a hero, holding out for a hero, rather.
Yeah.
Who do you think it has to be?
I mean, the weird thing about this is it's such a veteran lineup that you're like, why can't it be anyone?
It could have been anyone,
like,
right?
PoE could do it, Turtle could do it, Xerxe could do it. It feels like almost anyone, and Revenge as well being one of the young focal points for them.
Yeah, I mean, there are actually a lot of options, right? And we've seen them cycle through a few, and it's been like either parts of the composition maybe didn't work if they're trying to give like Revenge a really volatile matchup, or like Xerxe was put on the Kiana, but then he doesn't end up having pushing lanes and like stuff like that. So it's still like weird, slight misexecution and like lack of communication.
I know you'll be with me on this one, Raz.
I'm ready.
PowerOfEvil.
Yeah.
Ari.
Let's
Face
go.
race.
Let's do it.
Actually ends it.
He's going to end it.
Let's go.
He's going to do it.
1-2.
That's the
Against
one
100
game
Thieves.
here.
That's what's going to happen.
Start this one strong.
Lich Bane by, TP into the base.
Boom.
Let's go. Captain Flowers, Kobe. Enjoy the game. Take it away.
They agree with us.
Hell yeah, I agree with them. I want to see some violence. I want to see some blood. I want to see some action. All in the in-game. In-game, by the way. I want to see all that in-game.
After last game, yes, we are in need of some more action, some more blood. I ran into Revenge bathroom before this game, and I asked him if he would pick Quinn top for us to make it exciting. Because Quinn got buffed on this patch and has seen some play in Champions Queue.
What was his response?
His response was a laugh and a nod. So he didn't.
He was letting you down easy.
He wanted to acknowledge it, but he didn't want to give it away because there were other players around back there, though. You know, so he couldn't verbally say yes. So you know, he was trying to sneaky like.
Okay.
You buying it? You buying it?
I don't know if I'm buying it, bro. I don't know.
PoE draws an Ari ban.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not gonna be an Ari in this game, so the desk is not gonna get what they wanted. Jarvan banned out, Karma banned out, Zeri and Caitlyn banned out. Immortals is zeroing in on FBI in this 80 carry champion pool.
Yeah, I mean, PoE has no one to blame for the ban but himself. He tweeted it out, just reminding everyone that he was a big-time Ari player. So the permabans remain true. Zeri and Gwen, and then either Caitlyn or Karma are the super frequent ones on red side. No hesitation on this trade. Aphelios Jinx is going to be the most common trade. Catch up real quick here too. Xin very popular, but again, we're playing versus closer here. Could very well go Viego in response. So the Xin kind of early pick from Xerxe does give him some stability, some early playmaking options, but I don't think it's going to hinder 100 Thieves at all.
Curious if 100 Thieves is going to put priority on a Thresh here. You often see something like Thresh paired with Aphelios, so oftentimes considering we also get those supports and AD carries picked in the first half, I wonder if we're going to get that. We will get the Ryze. Remember, that was banned out last time, so we will get to see it this time. And there it is. Hey, the answer, just like you talked about. Xin Zhao, closer's happy to play the Viego.
Yeah, it's a really fun matchup to me because whoever gets the lead then has dominance in the 1v1 and can push the other out. Viego does have execution damage and Xin doesn't have escape, so a lot of times if there's any sort of early lead for Viego, it can get kind of scary for him. But if Xin, as expected, is able to get the early lead, and especially with a Syndra mid having a very devastating 2v2, could definitely snowball his way. Ryze, though, the reason it's been so prioritized and has been often first banned instead of even let through to the picks phase here is because of the importance of roaming right now. There's a lot of difficulties in coming up with the answer to Ryze. Even like some of the old school picks like Cassio or something being thrown around in some of the Champions Queue games, but being able to push and roam early on for Ryze and being able to have Realm Warp for the side lanes has been really, really big in snowballing a lot of these games. Plus, he has the flexibility. You can go still damage build Ryze. You don't have to go with the tank Ryze Fimbulwinter, but Fimbulwinter tank is very good, especially when you've got a carry jungler on your team.
And of course, when Ryze is that popular, when he's so useful in the meta, it makes sense to pick him even before the second part of the bans come through or whatever. And then Immortals felt the need to answer that, lest the mid pool get pinched even further. So we still have mirrored picks, just different roles from what we got in game number 1. Support pools, both being zeroed in on now since neither team has drafted that role. Nautilus banned out by Immortals. Lulu banned out by 100 Thieves. Leona banned out by Immortals. Are we going to get 4 out of 4 support bans here in the second half? What do you think?
Yes! I put all my money on yes.
Okay. What's it going to be? Double or nothing?
Well, we did get a touch on Janna already. I'll put my money on. I'll put my money on the Janna.
Oh, Flash instead.
Dude,
okay,
yeah,
so
I feel
Cody
like
goes bankrupt.
I feel like I feel like Janna's getting ignored, overly ignored early this weekend. I still think she's quite good.
Well,
especially because she just works so well with Glacial Augment, but is going to be ignored this game as well. Yeah, Thresh got the ban. Tahm Kench gets the pick very quickly here. You have 2 low mobility carries. Can be used here to save people when Viego goes for the execute and deny those resets. So the Tahm Kench is a big pick in response to Closer himself on one of his most feared picks.
Okay, what'll the lock-in be here? 100 Thieves, Sett locked in. Now, I'm thinking this is a potential support set.
Yeah, for sure. This is huhi. Not only is Sett good into other melee carries like Tahm Kench. I don't know about the balance after Tahm Kench's recent buffs. He's actually very good bullying melee, so we'll have to get a strength check update on this matchup. But huhi, I don't know how many times I've said this, but my favorite moment in huhi's career was after switching from mid lane Aurelion Sol aficionado down to support. His biggest carry games from support role were on the early Sett days, and his Hex Flash plays and his proactive playmaking with FBI. I was just so completely impressed and blown away as far as one of the first supports in the LCS to pick up Sett in the first place. Very happy to see him back on it, and this is another Sett game this year for him, so I have full confidence in him on the champion and in the matchup.
Well, the last 2 picks that we got to see from the teams here were our top laners. It'll be Renekton locked in blind for 100 Thieves. The response from Immortals is the Graves. Now, in game number 1...
No Quinn, man.
Game number 1, we got to see Renekton have a very strong early start into a whole lot of nothing. How are we feeling about the Renekton pick into this game? Obviously, you're not having to deal with the Smite roaming top laner or anything, but Graves is pretty strong, man.
Yeah, I actually quite like Renekton into this.
Okay.
Graves is very versatile, and you can control the wave super well. But let me remind you, this is Ssumday. He is literally one of the most famous Renekton players in the world. He made his early career in LCK on Renekton. one of his most played champions still to this day. And so this game is actually turning into iconic champions for these players. We've got huhi Sett, we have Ssumday's Renekton, we have PowerOfEvil's Syndra, his second most played champion of his entire career. One of the champions that he gave TSM a hard time with way back in the day as well. A lot of history here. So I really like when we get these specific players on their iconic champions.
Closer
Viego, all of these things coming through, in the picks for this game. You really, when you get to associate yourself with I know pocket pick is kind of a meme because of the
Hey, I will tell you that being associated with a champion is very fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I've got the perfect co-caster for this one, because we've got some good ones here. I still see who he is, the Aurelion Soul guy, but as support, Sett is the one for me. So.
Well, we've got both our supports running Ignite this game. Plenty of kill potential there. WildTurtle does have the cleanse versus the heal because, honestly, you have lots of CC threats on that enemy team for a Jinx.
Faceplant, as we were saying, huhi. Mechanics on the Sett, great, but the a little bit close to the wall there gets pushed right back through. If you get it 50% over the midpoint in a wall, it'll bounce through to the other side. But,
just like placing a ward.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Meanwhile,
let's see what we got. huhi and FBI are positioned in the forwardmost brush here. Xerxe is going to see Abbedagge, or is he? Okay, nope. Abbedagge is right there inside the brush. They're thinking, okay, maybe this is a trap. Maybe this is bad news. Revenge will step forward. He will not get to put a free auto attack into Ssumday there, but he will see that the blue buff will not be started on.
See, that's the difference between pro play and solo queue. Solo queue, both of them are into that brush.
Yup.
Dive bomb this guy. Get this Ryze. We see him by himself. I don't know where everybody else is. Let's go.
Yeet, go get him, but not this time. No, sir. We're in competitive play instead, so our jungler's going to be starting on opposite sides, both no leash.
I don't know if that bodes well for our bloodthirsty call, asking for a lot of action for this game.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
The first opportunity is bypassed, but bottom side push does go to the Immortals here with Jinx rockets coming through. FBI should be fine to heal up off the wave, but both supports holding until now their execution Targon stacks. Destiny uses both to move it on up, and they should secure themselves. Yep, level 2, no problem.
And speaking of level 2, Ssumday uses the chance to just immediately go in, but Revenge does a nice job getting the attacks on the back end of it there. Empties 2 reloads worth of shots into him there, and Ssumday's way worse for wear in the trade.
Certainly is, but he's got the Doran shield start for the Renekton, so you're making the most of the regeneration, even when you're getting low life there. Still has a potion for himself as well, but Destiny...
Oh, Destiny goes in, but he won't find the knockup. Does get the heal out of FBI for that little bit of extra move speed to make sure he evades the knockup. So good job getting the summoner spell out there. Closer's up top, but Revenge is not going to be far forward enough for him to find anything really to do here. So Closer right back down into the river. Scuttle Crabs aren't ready yet, so he just has to go back to his normal farm path.
Yeah, they had a ping there on Closer. I believe Revenge's ward just expired that saw him. So good defensive posturing here from Revenge. Able to back off, knows that Closer was just around, so Revenge playing it well, trying to waste as much opponent jungle time as you possibly can, while remaining out of reach of a kill threat for the jungle. Passes by another one here on his way to the Scuttle Crab, and that'll just get traded out, no problem. What I really want to see, though, is jungle action around mid, because Syndra, Ryze both have good setup. Both of these jungles are very good.
Escape.
Yeah, very good follow-up. Good setup and no escape.
They can both dish it, but they can't take it. That means it's a jungle type of lane, my friend. We're all too familiar with that sort of scenario.
Exactly. This is especially for solo queue. That's how you just evaluate your whole game for the early stages. You're loading into champ select. You're just like, who can we kill? Who's not getting away? Abbedagge, though, dodges out on the stun, so both of them are going to be fine. Not a lot of kill threat anymore because they both use so much of their mana focusing on the wave, and we'll get the resets.
Kind of hard to set up a kill when your mage can't do anything but auto attack for 60 damage over and over again, just throwing little orbs at him. But Destiny in some trouble down here bottom side. Haymaker comes out, hits him with the sweet spot, but he knew he wasn't in danger of dying. No reason to use any summoner spells on that one. Ssumday jumping in here after Revenge, just finds the initial burst and walks back away, trying to take these short patterns and utilize the fact that he still had minions there, so when Revenge tried to get any auto attacks on the back end, they would be intercepted. Remember, Graves' a unique champion in the fact that minions can block those.
Yeah, I think Ssumday's doing a lot of little things really well. You know, possibly blocking some damage for minions. Also, he utilized the time where Closer moved up towards top side, and we're pretty sure got seen by an expiring ward very effectively, because while Revenge was able to back off and not succumb to a gank there, Ssumday still made him pay in a few CS at the tower as he's trying to play safely, and try and get himself up to the point where he can go for this kill threat on the Graves, looking for the level 6.
Yep.
He's constantly looking for these slice and dice trades, fully charged up. Rage, and here comes
And there
Closer.
he goes, Ssumday with the flash, and he gets the heal as well from the Q. Closer's ready to clean it up, mop and bucket. First blood over to 100 Thieves, but Immortals now looking to get something back themselves. PowerOfEvil and Destiny trying to work together to find Abbedagge, but some nice fancy feet just steps out of the way.
100 Thieves looking clean in this early game, Flowers. Just
Yes,
as we're
sir.
talking up Ssumday, he perfectly baits in Revenge, waits, fully charged up Rage Bar, flashes in as Closer comes for the repeat, who also flashes to secure this. The timing is just so good. Ssumday starts communicating very, very early. Let's see at the point between going for Gromp, you can tell on the minimap, okay, he's coming now. So he's like, hey, wave is pushing. I'm going to take some early damage. Walks through. Hey, I'm baiting him. I've got flash. By this time, he's dead. Revenge is dead. Closer comes up, has the flash, goes for the stun. Ssumday also knowing his margins so well there with the heal. That one cut it real close, but that's what you get when you've got
Unironically
almost
calculated.
1,000, Renekton games over the course of your career. So good combination between the top and jungle, but then also Abbedagge, just as impressive escape in the 3v1 with the fancy footwork. With our German mid laners going head to head in this matchup. Abba gets the dodge. He is losing out on a bit of CS because he got chased all the way down to Kruggyville, but didn't die.
What? Kruggyville?
Nobody wants to go to Kruggyville. Junglers even sometimes don't like going to Kruggyville. It's far away.
It takes so long to kill them, and they're in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. Kruggyville's got some good gold in it, though. It's got good golden experience if you make your way there. Just that the journey is so long. It feels far away from everything.
It's like one of those gold rush towns, like back in the Wild West or whatever. It's out in the middle of nowhere, but there's gold in them Nar Hills, so go anyway.
There's gold in Krugville.
Well, we've got plenty of gold here in the hands of 100 Thieves, who are up about 700 after grabbing themselves that first blood there in the top lane. Ssumday rushing towards those plated steel caps. We know how important Boots Rush is in a range versus melee matchup. Down here on bottom side, huhi doing a good job there again with the face breaker. You already mentioned he knows how to play this champion and get those stuns, and in Destiny knows how to set it up to kill FBI. The man died with the flash, still ready to go. Immortals win a 2v2 bot side.
That's what we need to see from this team. Immortals have lost 6 games in a row this year. They need a win on the board. They would love nothing more than to do it against the defending champions, the 2-0 currently 100 Thieves. And it coming from the bottom lane is big. This is something people expected a lot of coming into this year, because Turtle actually, despite the failures of CLG last year, had quite a good individual performance in some of these micro situations when you're dissecting VODs and trying to look for positives in a kind of desolate year for the team. So happy to see Destiny come up. Really good Tahm Kench usage there with the re-engage on the W. He zoned upwards FBI, so even though FBI had flash, they still get the kill on him. Turtle gets excited. They get some gold on the right places for themselves. Maybe they can use this to change their fates so far this year in the LCS.
Turtle back underneath the turret for now, though. FBI fires off the ulti, but does not land that one. Misses the Q here as well, so Turtle's health bar not under any big threat just yet. But it is 100 Thieves moving into the enemy jungle. The blue buff is up. Closer and Abbedagge working to take that one away. Remember, their own blue buff is currently on Abbedagge, so Closer will be fine just smiting this one away to guarantee that they're able to secure it. But now with huhi coming up, Destiny's the man in trouble. He tries to get away, but he's pulled right back in. Get over here. Closer picks up the kill.
Oh, it is a scary thing when Closer's Viego starts to get kills, Flowers. Remember Champ Select, and we talk about this matchup with Zin. that gets really, really dangerous now for Xerxe.
Oh boy.
He's going to find himself defending this tower in the 2v3. Looks like as soon as 100 Thieves see that, though, you know, they decide not to risk it here. No reason to overexert themselves. They walk away. Closer's got a bounty on his head already as well, so don't want to be giving that up.
If that was just a Jinx, that's 300 gold for free, right? But as soon as his Zhao's there, you know it's going to get sloppy. It's going to get messy. Up here in top lane, Ssumday and Revenge. Ssumday's still about, what is that, 1 wave ahead of his opponent. So into the Graves matchup, you're happy with that. Still has that 1 assist from earlier here too.
Yeah, and by the way, just a little tack on to the bottom play. We should be complimenting Immortals in those situations where you deny that play.
Yeah.
You know, and calling Xerxe down, and just the little defensive opportunities where they are able to play it. They recognize the danger here. Xerxe hugged the wall also. You can tell the whole time as he's moving up, the positioning, you stay away from that tri-brush. You don't want to let them jump out at you. And so those little things make the earlier play not so bad for the bottom lane, and yet you're still left in a scenario where it's pushing out against you, you don't have any deep vision, and you know that Closer still has ult flash on Viego.
And especially being good at that, considering the context of what we're looking for from this team, right? It feels like for Immortals, the comms have been falling apart. People aren't on the same page. Well, this is saying, all right, we did the homework. We know what we're supposed to be doing. We're getting everybody on the same page, coordinated. And that's exciting for me to see because it means that they've recognized sort of what these problems are, they're working to fix them, and they can work towards actually being able to find these wins. However, things are still pretty tough here. It's a 1,500 gold lead for the side of 100 Thieves. Second Drake of the game is alive. Immortals got the first one, but it was just the Cloud Drake, and it's 100 Thieves with control over the bot side river. Look at the vision in this river from the blue side here. Immortals will summon up the Rift Herald in mid lane. They're going to get the 2 plates with that, but not much more. Abbedagge doing plenty of damage to the Herald here. One more auto attack on the eye kills it. And nobody starting up that Drake just yet. Still control for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, Abba's been a popular boy. Bottom lane, though, for 100 Thieves with the 3-person pressure again. They want to just cut off this only avenue of a lead that Immortals had opened up with their 2v2 kills. With the constant return of pressure, they keep on zoning out and trying to take away any of the advantage that Turtle and Destiny had built up. Meanwhile, Immortals spent a lot of resources towards mid. There were multiple times, 3-person pass to try and deny Abba these roam timers. Dragon, though, 1,500 counting.
Here we go. Xerxe decides to jump in. Abbedagge is the target, but he disengages. The Drake down to 100 HP, and Closer's going to take that one. Now Xerxe has to try to get away, but Zhao has a tough time doing it. Has to flash, stays alive, but Immortals still lose out on the objective.
Yeah, that is a terrible sign when you have your jungler on the dragon the whole time. So it's effectively a 3v4, and you're getting chased out of the river and bullied through. You know, that charge in there from Xerxe, now he doesn't have ult or flash either.
Right.
So if you ever are within range of Closer, of Viego, you die. Good flash from Abba.
Ooh, yeah, nicely done.
But he doesn't know.
Xerxe's ready to go after him, though. Wants to get away with a Realm Warp, and he does it. Goodness gracious, that was close.
This is the best looking 0-0. Never mind. Turtle from downtown, baby. He still got it.
Oh my goodness, that's what you love to see. If you're Immortals, at least, nice shot from WildTurtle.
Abba just finished off his perfect 8 out of 10, maybe 9 even. We're go real high on the Olympic score there. Escape out of mid lane with that Realm Warp.
Wait, what's the
looking
perfect
clean.
8 out of 10? Perfect 8?
I said, it's a perfect 8, you know? You can have a perfect 8, a perfect 9.
Perfect 10.
No, you can have a perfect 8. Just go with it.
Okay, all right. Perfect 8.
Perfect looking 8.
Perfect 8 until the rocket arrived. And then there were problems.
You can have like an 8, an 8.1, 8.2.
I have never heard of perfect
8.3. So an 8.3 is an imperfect 9. How about that?
Dude, this is getting too complicated. No, this is way too close to math. I'm not doing this. Okay, anyway, we got PowerOfEvil. He's gonna yoink away the Scuttle Crab. My crab now. And I always hate playing against Syndras because of this reason. They are adept at stealing scuttle
You yoink
crab.
your lunch money? Yeah.
Yeah, I like being able to get the crab, not have Syndra just steal it away. Anyway, Closer's still hanging out down here on bottom side river. This bottom lane tier 1, man, it is so close to falling over. Turret plates are gone, so there's no extra protection there. Top side here, a bit more of a scuffle between our top laners. Ssumday still always, this goes back to what you were talking about. He's so experienced in this champion. He's never just gonna sit back and let Revenge just run the lane. He'll always look for those windows whenever he gets them.
Yeah, I mean, when you play a single champion that much over your career, you have so much muscle memory, you have so much feel for how much damage you can give, how much damage you can take, even though it has gone through patch changes and varies obviously with items as well. Just really nice to see. And that's why we enjoy the fact about this game where there's so many of those champion player combinations on display for us. WildTurtle on his Jinx, which you can debate whichever is your WildTurtle pairing for a champion, but the Jinx, he has stolen so many Barons, Dragons, giant objectives, and gotten snipe kills,
Kill snipes.
which we all saw in this game. So again, that proficiency really does come up when we see some of these players that, while yes, they are technically older, they also show plays like that, which have a lot of value.
Speaking of value, Revenge with that first item Hull Breaker here on the Graves means that in these split push scenarios, he's going to feel plenty strong, especially at taking the turrets. But we'll see how the team fights look as Immortals are going after the Herald, but 100 Thieves are ready to try to stop them. Bringing in multiple bodies from both teams. Ssumday's not in the fight, but Revenge is. Now they're going to try to make that play here onto huhi. He's brought right back into everybody, goes for the Haymaker, stays alive with the shield. Revenge dashing back over the wall, staying alive there. Xerxe's going to grab the Herald, and now they're going in after Closer. Rift Herald Eye still on the ground. Nice two-man stun coming out, and the Ruined King goes down. Ssumday tries to get away. He'll be taken pretty low. They can't find another kill here. Nicely played there from Immortals.
Massive from Immortals, and they get to push out as well. This mid turret is so low. Only FBI is going to be able to defend here against PowerOfEvil. When you've got blue buff on Syndra too, he can even threaten at the tower. Took a tower shot there because he got some harassment down. And doesn't have the backup of the rest of the squad. Immortals, though, it's still such a huge team fight for this game because they also got the Rift Herald. So here's a look at the initiation. I popped again, gets chunked down, Graves smoke screen, and being up against the wall did so much. But then huhi goes for the initiation. They've got the outside coming here. FBI, even with the white gun stacked up, they aren't able to pin down Revenge in the back. Xerxe gets the kill onto the Rift Herald. They force them through with a split because Destiny chases them off to the other side, but now Destiny's gonna get chased himself.
Talking about Destiny, man. Wrong place, wrong time. Nice capitalization coming out from 100 Thieves. But now Closer's got to get away. Uses the ulti reset to get back over the wall and stay alive. 5 seconds left until the Drake spawns. It's a 5v4 map state for the side of 100 Thieves. And Revenge and Xerxe both stepping forward. Got to be careful around this zone, though.
Yeah, that was such a huge pick. The timing on Destiny earns you a dragon. Getting that kill off of your reset was so big for 100 Thieves. Very smart to get to the river first. These are why the rewards and why coaches always emphasize getting there early matters so much, because even though Immortals win that Rift Herald team fight, the reset earlier from 100 Thieves, being in the brush when Destiny comes through to try and get vision for Immortals, means that they get the trade objective. They get the dragon entirely off of picking off that support. And 100 Thieves bounce right back. So that's dragon number 2. They continue stacking.
And Immortals are going to respond by taking down a turret there in the top lane, using the power of that Herald that they won in the fight beforehand. So that'll bring the gold back a little bit closer, but it is still a lead for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and they're trying to open up.
Oh, nice stun. Xerxe tries to use the ulti to defend, but both of these guys are still in melee range. It's not blocking anything. Destiny gobbles him up, tries to get him away to safety. But now you got the Realm Warp coming in for a little bit more backup. Abbedagge, he's going to root Destiny. Can't get away from that one. Destiny's stuck in the river, and 100 Thieves beat him down. But now the problem is they're going to trade support for support. WildTurtle steps out of the way of the root here from the Everfrost. Abbedagge drops. Ssumday's here in the middle of everybody. He's going to grab the kill into PowerOfEvil as Xerxe tries to get away, but FBI has arrived. Closer grabs another as Revenge dashes over the wall, and it's 3 for 2 for 100 Thieves. Closer ain't done yet.
Oh!
Here comes the slam. Here comes the kill for the Ruined King.
This man is too good, Flowers. Closer is picking up right where he left off in the finals. Honestly, stellar performance. Charges onto the Raptor to get range for the W. Turtle doesn't flash the W. If you don't flash the W, then you're already dead because the slow lands, the damage chunk is there. Closer is going to be able to follow up, gains the distance with the ultimate into the W for the Spectral Maw. That was just so well played by Closer, but should have just resulted in a flash. Anyways, here's the early pick where they gain some of the momentum, and you look at the mini-map in these situations to see, as the team is converging, what are they buying time for? Aphelios actually just had to flash off screen to the 1v1 from WildTurtle. So WildTurtle got excited off that turret, forced a flash from Aphelios. He joins first, so you think that Immortals have the advantage, but Aphelios then can join from the backside, and they get the big chunk down there. Ssumday picks up the kill, and since Closer can reset, he comes out of the body, instantly stuns with Syndra, picks up the Zhao body, then you can charge to the chicken just to get distance. He hits the W onto Turtle. Gotta flash those W's.
Yep. Turtle thought he might be able to walk it away, but the range on Wind Becomes Lightning is so far tough to deal with.
Sometimes, like, you don't give enough credit to the threat of this ability if you see the Xin already use charge. Because if it's just a Xin, then the Xin can't close that distance. But he's not a Xin, he's a Viego!
That's
holding
Viego
his body!
playing Xin.
Exactly, so he can then just ult and Spectral Maw. Closer's playing Xin and Viego. Just better.
Well, Closer is 5-1-2, man. He has the Divine Sunderer. He has the Blade of the Ruined King, his namesake item. If this dude is able to free hit somebody, they're gonna die. Because when we're looking at the itemization on the enemy team, in terms of defenses, it's health. And then it's also health. The front line, the Graves and the Zhao and the Tahm Kench, they've got health. And Blade of the Ruined King is exceptional at killing that. It's armor that would normally be able to mitigate some of that, but there's not a ton of it available yet.
You guys can't see at home, but Flowers right now explaining health to me every time he turns. He is the picture of that History Channel meme.
The alien.
Exactly.
Health.
That is Flowers right now. Health.
Well, that's all there is. There's only health.
That was perfect. That was perfect. We're also going to have a dragon soon, and it is a mountain dragon, which gives shields if you get the soul.
He's doing it.
So number 3 getting to soul point will be huge here, 400 Thieves, but it is Immortals into the river first, so they get the priority on vision.
All right, Immortals trying to control this. They don't want to allow 100 Thieves to get that soul point, especially with the jungler being so strong like this. 100 Thieves is stepping in, though. It's Abbedagge leading the charge, now backing up a little bit. Destiny keeping WildTurtle alive, but now huhi's pulled Revenge right back in. He's going to have to flash away. PowerOfEvil looking for the stun, but he won't find it. Immortals does not get a punch back. Some injured health bars on either side. Revenge and Turtle both with a chunk out. Abbedagge at about half. huhi has no ulti here. FBI at 200 HP. Barely getting away from that as PowerOfEvil used the ulti to take him low. 100 Thieves still hanging around. They've still got Closer at full, but he has no smite to try to steal this away yet. That is still cooling down. Now they're going to force another flash. Immortals doing a good job chasing 100 Thieves away. Immortals now going after the Drake. 100 Thieves has conceded this objective. It's not worth fighting over. Drakes are going to be tied 2-2.
Range can win you games, Flowers.
Yeah.
Really good poke there from Immortals. Getting health bar chunks, getting summoner spells blown, all just from landing your skill shots here. Huge plays there from Immortals, bullying it out, bringing this back to 2 dragons to 2. Still within reach here of the 100 Thieves. Even though Closer is on fire, he's got a bounty on his head. So you got to, there are a couple different chants. Last time we talked about, typing in team chat, we're just scaling. You also, pinging bounties is a viable strat here and is critical, especially when it's a carry champ like Viego. Trying to hit a Syndra stun on him.
Ooh, and look at the chunk. Closer just kaboom. As soon as Syndra kicks that orb into him, 1/3 HP gone.
Exactly. Syndra, one of the best champs at picking up those bounties. And again, if Immortals can continue to use their range effectively and start a fight out that way, if you burst him down, you get not only a big bounty of gold back for you, but you take out the biggest threat and leverage yourself towards an objective.
Ssumday trying to go in on Revenge here in the bottom side. This 1v1. He's got the black cleaver, so he can get those stacks, shred through some of the armor on the hull breaker and on the plated steel caps. Ssumday just continuing to try to apply that pressure. Both these guys at about half HP. Revenge goes back into the jungle. He'll just use the Gromp to heal up there. A little bit of a gas station fill up. Just go ahead, get the extra HP back, right back into lane. There's that ward there that spots Ssumday, still maybe looking for something here. Remember, both these guys have their ultis ready. However, Revenge is not going to put himself in a spot where Ssumday can cut him off. He'll just back right on away.
Yeah, honestly, Black Cleaver is the perfect buy against Graves. You shred the armor and you get the move speed. You see all these chases, these little trades that Ssumday goes for. He's constantly playing an aggressive crocodile. This is not a tame crocodile.
No. This is not a crocodile in the zoo. This is a crocodile in the wild, in the river, munching on what do crocodiles eat? Like gazelles.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure they eat any sort of meat.
I don't think a crocodile could eat a hippo because a hippo's bigger.
Okay, they could eat a hippo's meat, though, if the hippo's meat was there for the taking.
Like eat a hippo's leg or something? Okay, yeah, sure.
If it's detached from the hippo.
Okay, this is getting kind of morbid. I guess. I was just going to say crocodile chomp is not as big as a hippo chomp because a hippo is bigger.
Yeah.
So in a battle of chomping,
I have
wins.
always been told that hippos are super dangerous, and yet I'm not scared of hippos at all.
Dude, why are you not scared of hippos? They can chomp you in half.
Probably because of that Child's Game, Hungry Hippos.
Oh, yeah, dude, that game, maybe that game prepared us for being shoutcasters because it's like the loudest thing in existence. So even when we're at a 10 out of 10, we're not as loud as Hungry Hippos.
I see.
My mom hated that game. Whenever I would play it, I was only allowed to play it for like 10 minutes because it's so loud.
Is it a perfect 10?
Yeah, no, it was a perfect 8. Perfect 8. Anyway, Immortals are setting up around Baron here, trying to get control over the topside river. Ssumday and Revenge. It just never stops with this scrapping down here in the bottom lane. We're never really seeing anybody get close to dead, but there's always threat from either side.
And that is important that it never stops because that is how Ssumday is keeping the threat there. He himself has been able to earn a gold bounty because of the extra kills that he's picking up moving towards these objectives. Renekton does provide CC. You know, yes, the smoke screen can be used effectively in some scenarios and is one of the most annoying abilities, but flash stuns.
Ooh! Shield from huhi there. Absorbs most of the super mega death rocket. Turtle gets rooted up. But man, huhi nearly getting picked off.
Yep, strongest tool here for Immortals is this range. PoE, Syndra, second most played champion of all time throughout his entire career. Keeps on fishing around, finding these stuns, and Turtle being able to follow up. Him on this Jinx this game has been quite good. So Immortals carries want this win, Flowers. They're poking out 100 Thieves members left and right, trying to get some advantages for their team, trying to get the setup. 1 minute on Dragon on the clock means this is where you recall to get your control wards. I want to see control wards through these inventories locked up so that you can set up properly for this one and make use of your biggest advantage here. Biggest win condition for them is trying to land some of that poke on either closer. Honestly, though, any of the frontline members would be big, juicy targets to get an early health lead on.
Absolutely. Immortals with 30 seconds left. PowerOfEvil will teleport into the mid lane. The bottom side river, they've got that scuttle crab vision, but that's about it for the Immortals side. 100 Thieves has been in here in the past 20 or 30 seconds, clearing out the vision that was there, placing down some of their own, and now the ward battles are going to begin. huhi is here in the brush. They've got wards all around him just in case there's any sort of a play to be made here. He has the flash, he has the ulti ready here on the Sett. Let's see where Immortals want to approach from. Revenge separated from the rest of the team while everybody else will come from the mid lane. huhi goes over the wall and he just finds Revenge. The smoke screen immediately right on top of his head. Revenge now has to be aware of Closer's presence. Closer and huhi are cut off from the rest of their squad. Abbedagge approaching from the left, but all of Immortals will zone him away. The Drake has been started up. 100 Thieves are onto that one. It's FBI and Ssumday. Closer's also got to get closer to that one. Xerxe's ready to come in and maybe smite fight for this. He jumps into the middle, but it's going to be secured by FBI. 100 Thieves, they grab the objective, but huhi's already down. 5v4 on the map, but the Drake goes the way of 100 Thieves. What can Immortals get from this? There are pings onto the Baron pit.
Yeah, that was a quick sacrifice. huhi ults him out, but immediately, where'd that Sett go? Deleted in the animation. So while you do get the dragon, what did we give up, Flowers?
That is the question, my friend.
I'll give you a hint. It tastes purple.
It tastes purple, but can 100 Thieves stop it? The Baron already down to 4,000. Closer has no smite. Even for a smite fight, it will not be there. Xerxe's taking the damage. FBI providing the lockdown. Immortals trying to scramble the fight. Abbedagge is going to drop. However, they've also lost PowerOfEvil on the side of IMT. Xerxe's going to be taking low. Double kill back over to Closer. Ssumday now on top of WildTurtle. 100 Thieves slam them into the ground with an ace from FBI.
100 Thieves are gonna be happy with that one, Flowers. Baron buff, soul point, everything in their pockets.
What did it cost him, Kobe? It cost him throwing Immortals into a bamboozle.
They stopped that cost at huhi's life. That was such a valiant sacrifice. In the end, you know, let's take a look at it. Flip the switch replay here, come in a little bit slow. How they get such a great initiation, instant Zhonyas by so much time, and FBI is firing during the time that's unfortunate, and then Closer flashes to the back line to pick up the kill and the reset. Then charging through FBI, nobody can get on him. Ssumday and Closer do so much insane work creating space for him. He even flashes to the other side of Ssumday so that Graves' bullets can't get through, even though he goes down in the end. Absolute monstrous play from the frontliners there. Ssumday and Closer demolish this team fight. Ssumday with the stopwatch, then Closer flashing into the back line to get the first kill and reset.
FBI's guns also swapped. He went into that fight with blue gun and purple gun. He exhausts the purple bullets halfway through, gets red for a little bit of extra sustain and fighting to keep him alive till the end. Team comes in and backs him up. Beautifully done stuff. And once again, we are left with an eternal question, my friend. How the hell does Closer keep getting Viego?
So, this one might confuse people for a long time to come. But I would also remind you that if you go back to finals, he absolutely stomped them on Lee Sin as well. This man is just a good jungler. Yes, Viego is a very snowbally jungler, and when you crush people, it will have a tendency to go legendary.
But Xerxe has to use the ulti to stay alive there. Closer also very low. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to find a cleanup kill here this time. 100 Thieves, though, trying to really push this lead.
But I would also agree with you. He's also just overly disgusting on this champion. So
very, very good. Very, very good.
This does bring up a good meta point, though.
All right, what do you got?
Red side has been more solidified in bans over the last couple of weeks. I want to see if 12-3 really rocks that much at all. But since you have to ban, or theoretically have to ban Gwen and Zeri, and then have either some sort of plan to deal with, you know, Caitlyn, Karma, bottom lane range situations, or ban them out, your red side bans get really stacked up quickly, so you don't get the luxury of banning out people's iconic champions. And then you end up with games like this, where you have so many players on their iconic champions, and you're thinking, wow, just ban Closer's Viego. But what if Zeri was in this game, you know, and what if he's, you know, playing jungle Zeri, actually? Closer, you didn't think I was going to take that turn,
no,
did you?
I did not think that is the direction that we were going, my friend, but hey. All right, I'm on board. Let's see it. Anyway.
What's the greater evil here, I guess, is always what you have to ask yourself.
Sir, we live in a world, we live in the timeline where Smite Janna top. We are in the evil world.
Point
we're in now. We're lost sauce right now.
That's a pretty great evil.
Anyway, we've got some turrets being taken top side here. We got 30 seconds until what will be Mountain Soul for 100 Thieves if they can secure it spawns. PowerOfEvil getting away from Closer there with that blast cone. 100 Thieves with control over this bot side river. If you're Immortals, you got to make the call right now. Do we fight for the soul, or is this just an instant int that loses us the game and gives them the soul anyway? They're saying, all right, we got to fight for it. Revenge is coming in. It's a 5,000 gold lead for 100 Thieves. Everybody from their side is going to be here too. Huhi's coming in. Goes for the face breaker. He grabs a couple of them. Haymaker comes out, but Huhi's going to die first. Turtle finds that one. Ssumday's going to die now too. He goes into the resurrection. He'll be brought back up here in just a moment with Revenge and Destiny going after Closer. Ssumday's going to be killed off to the side. Abbedagge cannot get away. He will go into stasis, but that's all he's going to get is a golden tombstone. Closer stuck in the enemy jungle. Here comes the bullets, baby. It's a 12-gauge death sentence. 4 dead for nothing. Immortals fight it beautifully.
I can hear the Immortals cheers from here. Flowers, they are pumped on stage. WildTurtle gets excited. Yes, huhi dunks PoE into the rest of the team, but Turtle gets excited off that kill. They finish him off, and they run straight through mid.
They're just going straight for the end. It's FBI and huhi versus 5 players of Immortals for the next 20 seconds. IMT want their first win in 7 games, and they're looking for it here. FBI in the stasis, trying to buy himself some time, but he's already down. huhi is down. Immortals will get their first win this year, and they'll take out 100 Thieves.
Let's go Immortals. First win of the year for this team on this LCS stage. That one's gotta feel good too, against the defending champions who were currently 2-0, now 2-1, suffering this loss. Huge stuff here from Immortals. They've been questioned at every turn here with the sluggish start that they had, but they always kept their focus. Big game here from Immortals.
Hell yeah, boys, take a bow. You love to see it, man. You love to see it.
I like that the sponsor is progressive as well, and that's what the team has to be. They have to continue to progress, continue to move forward. They're making progress, and it's looking good here. They also drew the Ahri ban. Hopefully somebody forgets about that. You know, maybe when they're on blue side and you can't afford to ban out those specific champs, we'll get to see a little bit more of it. Do think after the changes, you know, Ahri on live right now is quite fearsome.
I just love the fact that final team fight, they played it so well, and they played it from a difficult spot. You're going into a fight where your opponents are threatening taking the soul, so you're already under the time pressure, and they're 5,000 gold down, and they 4-0 them. That's not just an incredible team fight, that is a perfect 10. And so, on that note, Immortals are taking down the reigning champs. They end their 6-game loss streak. And to learn more exactly about how they pulled that off, we're going to join LeTigress and Revenge for the Verizon postgame interview.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. For the first time on the LCS stage in spring, I am joined by Revenge and Immortals victory. I know it's been a bit of a bumpy ride so far, so tell me about your thought process coming into week 2 to pull off the win.
Well, obviously, we haven't won a game yet since lock-in, and it's not been great. We've definitely just been trying everything we can do, you know, trying all different kinds of styles to win. I feel like we were just having an issue where we couldn't really play on stage like we were playing in scrims, and I don't know why, but it just wasn't working out. And I think going into this week, I mean, both the opponents we're facing were 2-0 from week 1, 100 Thieves and C9, and we just, you know, told ourselves, like, we have to turn it around, we have to do something, and finally just show what we've been doing in scrims, because, yeah, it's just been unreal.
I know the coaching staff was also transparent about that on social media as well after week 1. When it comes to making those adjustments to get it done, is that a lot of individual work, you all kind of taking care of it your own on mental, or working as a team to try and translate as much as possible?
I mean, I think there was just a lot of issues that was going on, so we had to kind of tackle each issue one by one and kind of really look into our stage games and see like what issues were really, you know, making us struggle. And I think that like everyone on our team is super competitive and really like wants to win, and we have a group of veterans on our team, so they kind of helped us, you know, kind of step back and realize like it's still the first week of spring, we're a new team, we're gonna bounce back from this, we're all really good players, and we have so much time to show it.
And what a way to bounce back. Taking down 100 Thieves, the reigning champions. They had some significant leads in certain areas as well. So walk me through this game.
Yeah, I mean, I died first blood to the gank, which I didn't really expect. I think Closer was really creative, I guess, this game with that gank, and I was really caught off guard. But thankfully, it didn't really swing the matchup that much in my favor. I went to creative build with the Hullbreaker and kept push on him the entire lane still, so I was still doing my job, and later on in the side lane, I was still able to, you know, keep him tamed, and I think some team fights really didn't go our favor, and that was getting a bit scary, the Closer Viego flashbacks, but I think my teammates were smurfing in team fights, setting me up really well on the Graves, and we were able to just win the game from the last couple of fights. I think they mispositioned really hard, and we just took advantage of them.
Yeah, team doing really well. WildTurtle, for instance, having pop off there in the end. What was the energy like in those final fights?
I mean, it was a bit hectic. We were like, I mean, because I think 100 Thieves was kind of fighting all over the place. So we kind of like I was killing Viego the whole time on the side. He couldn't really do anything. And then on the other side, my Syndra is like stunning everyone and my Jinx is getting resets. And we're like, okay, wait, this fight's won. Honestly, I actually think it was more calming after we got the first kill. Like after we get the first Jinx kill, we're just like, okay, guys, the fight's over. What are we doing? And I'm like, I'm going to kill this Viego. And yeah, and at some point we just pressed tab and we're like, oh wait, there's 50-second death timers. Let's end the game. And it was like, we were like, okay, wait, we can't end. And then we're like, no. Actually, PowerOfEvil was like strong calling us like, trust me, we're ending this game. And we all just trusted him, and yeah, we ended the game. So
I could hear your voices carrying through the mics that were on the other side and hooked into my ears. So getting excited on the Rift, getting fans excited off. Revenge, congratulations on picking up the W today, and thanks for stopping
thanks so
by.
much. Thank you.
For more on that game, let's head on over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
All right, let's go, Immortals. Progressive taking the victory over 100 Thieves, just pulling the rug out from underneath them there, too, with that final team fight. And then I love hearing from Revenge the conversation about how it was PowerOfEvil saying, no, we're going to end here, right? Having that definitive voice, that definitive call in comms to be able to direct everyone. And then they all commit to it. That's what you like to see.
We heard that similarly last year, I remember, when PoE was on TSM. It would be him and his other teammates deciding when they want, like, he would be the one making those decisive calls. So it's cool to hear that he brings that to every single team he's on.
Yeah, and I mean, Kobe said it within the game of like, sure, it's just week 1, but they lost their games in lock-in. They're coming into this one like losing every game.
0-6.
Like
0-6. Yeah.
And so you could feel it where the players, the veterans on that team, feeling lost in a way, like going through all of their problems in review after the first week, and it is working.
I think you can see the relief on Revenge's face in the review too.
For sure.
Yeah, it's only 0-2 in regular season rankings. It's still, from their perspective, a 0-6 slide to start the year. So breaking that streak, probably felt really good for them and showing like, hey, we're good. We can compete. This is 100 Thieves who is 2-0. Like when we play well, when we get these advantages, we can end the game.
And made that much sweeter that it was against a 2-0 team. He mentioned very tough week for them because both their opponents are 2-0 coming into it. Taking a look at that draft real quick, I think one of the things we want to call is, of course, the fact that huhi gets quote-unquote pushed onto his Sett. That's definitely a scary thing because this was a sick play right here, pulling him out, finding that early kill. He's always terrifying on that pick.
Yeah, it was cool to see him bring out the pick. Obviously, Revenge brought up his Hullbreaker Graves from that draft as well. Another thing that this cuts out on is Closer using the little
Abyssal dive.
Yeah, keep wanting to say Abyssal Voyage. But his Kench. Good, actually. Like, Closer's Tahm Kench is actually very good.
I swear to God, the reason he's so good at Viego is because he's so good at every other champ. He landed multiple teamfight knockouts on Tahm Kench. I watched support Tahm Kench is unable to do this. So in this fight, when it's getting really scrappy, multiple members are dying, they had to go in here and kind of save this potential Baron situation. Like the fact that he's
right there,
able to come back
bottom
in,
of your screen.
Yeah, get that knockup and buy space for FBI to kite it out a little bit longer is a huge reason that he's such a good Viego.
Yeah, when you see fights like those, you're already like, okay, where's the end game screen? Because that was an incredible flank from him, and you already know from just his playoff in the previous split, like what he does on this champion. So he's doing really well. FBI and the Aphelios is getting stacked. Like they are incredibly strong, and they have about a 2K gold lead at this point, and you're like, okay. So
game
that's 28 and a half minutes into the game. Yeah. You jump 4 minutes forward, and then boom. Immortals wins. Like, what is going on?
You said someone pulled the rug out from under them. I think it was actually huhi. This engage was pretty brave.
He slipped. He tripped.
Yeah, he was the cause of the rug coming loose. Because after this engage, when you flub an engage versus Jinx, you are in deep trouble. You get Reset City coming on top of you.
Yeah, and of course the repositioning from Ryze so that it is now at this point kind of unwinnable. You can't really run away from it. So there are now 2 points of this fight. On one side, PowerOfEvil sweeping the Ryze. The other side, as you heard from Revenge, taking down Viego. So it was a complete one fight. They, the engage itself was pretty poor, and then, as Revenge said, resets galore for the Jinx.
Turtle picks up player of the game. Nice performance there near the very end. We're going to forgive him for that little overstay by the Raptors. That was maybe...
What are you talking about?
Sorry, it didn't happen. But I think in a number of ways, though, I love seeing him pick up this honors. It also kind of goes back to the conversation where you're talking about who's going to be the hero for this team, that it actually does feel like it can be anyone when you look at that roster. And so for Turtle to have a pop-off fight, but then for PowerOfEvil to be the shot caller in that moment, to call for the end, you start to now understand where those successes can come from this, from this roster.
Exactly. Like, when I saw this team, I'm imagining like team fights with control mages, with with PowerOfEvil, like and Xerxe, because they have done this before. And in this game, Revenge had a great game on the Graves.
Yeah.
Like he performed incredibly well when after the gank that he had topside that killed him. Like he performed really well in team fights. He was assassinating backlines as you'd expect. Ryze was having real difficulties versus him, and then WildTurtle team fighting with his Jinx was perfect. So like. You need more games like these, then they'll find equal. By the end of this week, they can be 2-2.
I think
that's how math works.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you pointed at me, so I was like, is it bounce off? No, I was going to say that this POG voting system, like there are multiple players on Immortals who got votes. I think PoE got one, I think Revenge got one. So it was a game where a lot of people had to step up to win.
Yeah. Well, and to return to something that Raz said, now, because a lot of Immortals issues were like, not only who's going to step up, but also when they did have a player who was in a position to carry, there'd be a miscommunication around a team fight, right? Now, if you get the fact that you're not on a losing streak out of the way, I think that helps massively. Like we already talked about how we saw the relief on Revenge's face in that draft.
Yeah.
So going forward, now I think they've, broken the streak. Hopefully they can learn from this and move forward.
And this is why lock-in is a blessing for them. Because when I said like they could be 2-2 after this, the fact that they were face-to-face with their problems as early as lock-in, and now the records from that does not matter.
That's a big point.
So like going into the next day makes it much easier to know that okay, this is what we need to do to get back to floating in 2-2.
Well, they end one streak. I think they're looking to see if they can kick up another one, as they've got one more match ahead of them this weekend. But either way, taking down the defending champs, that's the way to do it. After the break, Team Liquid, they're going to take to the LCS stage to face the unholy power of Cloud9. We'll see you back here to preview that one in just a bit.
Immortals trying to scramble and fight. Abbedagge is going to drop. However, they've also lost PowerOfEvil on the side of IMT. Xerxe is going to be taken low. Double kill back over to closer. Ssumday now on top of WildTurtle. 100 Thieves slam them into the ground. Abbedagge cannot get away. He will go into stasis, but that's all he's going to get is a golden tombstone. Closer stuck in the enemy jungle. Here comes the bullets, baby. It's a 12-gauge death sentence. 4 dead for nothing. Immortals fight it beautifully.
Shields, shields, and more shields in this Assist of the Week presented by State Farm. On day 1 of the LCS, Golden Guardians and Cloud9 went head-to-head, and Golden Guardians started to pull away early. At first chance, Cloud9 wasted no time aggressing on an overextended Golden Guardians as they tried to lock in their early game lead with a dive bot. With a pseudo-engage from Berserker, Winsome and Fudge began rolling out the shields, making Cloud9 unstoppable.
Nobody will get away. Look at the shielding on the man. God bless, that is a lot of extra HP.
This is the sort of pride that gets you in those big moments, allows you to take down giants.